the longest period of my life has been in Deusto. First as in charge of international relations and then as vice rector of international relations. After that, and I think there it starts, because the time in Deusto was very, very useful, very fruitful. It was a time of Europe when we started higher education, making it European in a very strong sense. And we believed in Europe, and we believed all of us. And that made a big difference. So I lived with my colleagues, and we often refer to it, we felt we really built Europe. I suppose every generation has to do it. But we feel proud that we did our best, that we believed and we tried. So with that context in mind, which I think marked my life very much, when I retired, I somehow felt that my life had to continue being useful. And when you try to think in which way you can be useful, you have to look at certain sources that you have with you. One of the sources is what you know, what you can do.
Experience.
Yes. And the other source, which is a very powerful source, is the things you believe and the things you want to happen and the things you are ready to spend time completely free to do it. The things that you feel it is worth doing. This is a very good privilege of people when we are retired. We can choose how to spend this part of our life. So with these things in mind, I started considering how I could spend the rest of my life. And then a number of things came to my mind. Obviously, I have been working with youth all the time. And I have a strong belief that this is a very privileged moment in life. And this is a moment in which great decisions can be taken, and also a period in which you can have a very hard time point. Then I had all the experience of working at international level and at the level of higher education. But obviously, when you finish a period at the university, sometimes it's good to continue, sometimes other people come behind you, and it's better to leave them free ground. So for that, when I retired, it occurred to me to create a network or a connection between university, the world that I knew best, and youth.
So you are combining all the experience and the knowledge, the prior knowledge, in the new phase to put things together.
Correct.
Right? With Eoh-for-Good, this interconnection between different things. You are talking about this formal, non-formal learning or education, but for me it's very interesting to go a little bit deeper on this connection between generations. You were talking about young people, very young people, and I would like to know how do you see this connection between generations? Because I think for them it's very important. You were already mentioning this, giving them trust, giving them opportunities, but how do you envision that?
I think that your positioning in life is very important, because if you think that everything depends on you or what you do, then it would be very difficult to fit. In this context, I think that young people are very open to listen to other generations and to people which are older if you are able to speak their own language. And then they feel useful for that. And they feel that they are stronger, but sometimes there are lots of things that you see that they don't see. And when you open that door and they discover that there are things that you know that they haven't even grasped, then they start wondering, and there is a moment in which you get credibility. Age is something that happens to us. We have no control over age. we have control on how we take it,
Mhm.
what to do with it, how we show ourselves in front of the others. So I think that the best thing is the honesty that you approach the world with. Because very often what happens in our society, I feel, is that we lose purpose.
Mm.
And purpose in life is very important.
Yeah.
Purpose and passion move life. But for example, for young people, I feel that they are particularly useful. They dream about something and they want to do something, but it is too far and too high, and they feel frustrated.
Yeah.
So
And then you have to explain the full picture a little bit to them. Say,
correct.
there we go. Do we share it? Because this is also part of the sharing the vision.
Yes.
And constructing the vision with people is to build something together, which is the common good that we are aiming at. Could you explain this dichotomy between the ego-centric and the eco-centric that we have to build together?
Well, I think it's a very important balance. We have to have the feeling that we are not alone. On our own, we do very little. You have to realize that you need something that goes faster than you, particularly if you are talking to young people.
For me, very important how we build this culture of entrepreneurship, innovation, daring, sharing responsibilities, sharing failures, etc. Can we train that?
Yes, I think you can train it. Part of the training here is attitudes. Attitudes of the group. If everybody starts sort of feeling insecure, everybody feels very insecure.